So now I'm sorted with my sugar. Got to forgive us here because I'm just on my phone. Just not too much and not too less. You want to still taste the apples because they of course are full of sugar with them being a fruit. Now once that's in, you want to stir it up. Just nice and gentle. I'd say simmer for about 10 minutes maybe. It doesn't really matter about getting the apples caramelised because of course it has got some cooking to do in the oven. A little chopping board here, obviously with his first episode nerves. Getting a bit carried away with myself, not adding another apple. Now if your doctor's telling you that what you're eating's not good enough for you, that's not my fault. The beauty about me is I'm 24 years of age and I can make extremely tasty food. Especially for my friends who, luckily for me, I do not smoke cannabis, but they quite like it. So whatever I make, let's just say it tastes twice as better as what it does when you're sober. Now, I'm going to preheat your oven here. As you can see, I've already got a homemade quiche in there. Yes, you can tell I grew up on Catherine Cookson's. Might be my northeast roots. Learned cooking off my mum. I'm extremely grateful for that. What I'm now adding into the apple and cinnamon is a bit of salt. Of course, salt does just bring out a bit of flavour. You don't add too much because it will dry up. Now for your block pastry, you don't want to be using all of it of course, because even I'm not that genetically advanced to not withstand off heartburn. That's what you want to do when you finally get it open. It's proving a bit difficult here. I'd say for an apple pie, I'm using one cooking apple. I'd say what you want to do, you want to use maybe a third of your pastry. You don't want it too hearty, because of course one portion is sometimes never enough, but if you've got indigestion or heartburn, you'll know about it. Now a little secret ingredient I do like to use is normally jam. However, Mother Bear has bought none, so what I'll be adding to this is just lemon curd. Just savours it. It all tastes the same really. It's a war food, so you know it's made one way or the other, isn't it really? It's like noodles. Okay, as you can see, the apples are slowly coming on there. I do apologise once again for the camera, as I do not have an assistant here, because my mates would probably grief us if they knew I was making something like this. Okay. Now what I find with the puff pastry what you buy in the packets from supermarkets is it's sometimes a bit damp, and I do like to add a bit of flour. However, if you add too much, then I'm afraid you're adding a lot of butter, because that of course is what's going to moisten it up a little bit. Plus I get a bit greedy and I think it adds a little bit of flavour. So there we are, just roll it out. Rolling technique as picked up from my mother. Now I know a lot of people don't like cooking, so the recipes I'm putting on here are really simple. There's nothing worse, you know, when someone comes and says, oh, I made calamari with, you know, sautéed onions and futaki mushrooms or whatever it is. I mean, look, when you come from the village, you want good rustic food, because that's what you like at the end of the day. I see elaborate food as some kind of a status symbol, what posh people use, and to be honest, there's really no beating homemade food. There we are, you can probably see the apples sizzling away there. I'll give them another 5 minutes and we should be ready to add them to the dish. Of course, as well, add the cinnamon. You don't want too much because cinnamon is highly concentrated in flavour, and Well, I think you're probably familiar with the cinnamon challenge. It's not exactly high quantities aren't exactly good for the back of the throat either. With it being a spice, it has got a bit of a bite. Okay, so there we are. There's your puff pastry rolled out. Using a dish not very big. I'd say you'd normally be able to cook mince and dumplings for two in that size, but this is for my grandma, so I need to make a few portions. There we are, coming on nicely. Other things I make, which I'm hoping to put up, is Indian food, tikka makhani, korma. Pretty simple, really. I haven't really got a big, you know, array of recipes when it comes to the continental foods. It's just stuff I've really picked up off YouTube, which I think is better than anything, really, because on these cookery programs, well, you can tell half of them have been to posh schools because, what can I say? You can't just click your fingers and you get everything you want, can you? But never mind, while Britain stays on top, I'll take advantage of import and export of many different things, because hey, go on there, the cinnamon, go on that spice rack. How much is that from Britain? Sure to say made in Asia somewhere, it normally does. That fucking dog going on again, doing me fucking tits in. I do apologise for the language. I hope you're not watching this in front of kids, because I know that you wouldn't dare swear after a few drinks. Okay, right. Now I'm actually not putting the bottom on my pie because I feel with puff pastry it's sort of too soggy. Short crust maybes, yeah, but I'm not really a fan of having it on the bottom. You know, I like to have a crispy, you know, a crispy surface where you can, you know, it's sort of like eating nacho chips really. You know, you have your crisp tortillas and of course you have your sauce what goes on top, and I think that just gives a nice little balanced bite. What I'd normally serve with my apple pie is cream. Also, the same recipe can be used if you've got a little bit of blackcurrant jam. Get the crumble mix from the shop and just do exactly the same. Of course, add the crumble mix with a bit of cream. Voila! If you're inviting women over, don't go in without a skin, because I can guarantee you once you've tasted that, you'll not get rid of her, which could be a bit of a problem. I don't know how you think about these sort of situations. Personally, I'm not a relationship kind of man, because I can't be bothered with the stress. So there we are, that's coming on nicely there. What we're now going to do is add a teaspoonful of lemon curd. If I can find a teaspoon here. Really should do the dishes before my mum gets back, else it'll be hell on. There we are. See, not even much. I'd say maybe it's more half a teaspoon, to be honest. It's just to give it a little bit of a kick, you know. Of course, all apple pies really do taste the same, and I must reiterate, if I did have blackcurrant jam or mixed fruit jam even, which works very well, I would be using them. But my mum has been to no hotels and she hasn't pinched the little condiments what they give you, so unfortunately we're on value Morrison's lemon curd. Okay, so just want to mix that in there. Now it's very important to taste your own food as well. You know, I mean, I am not being big-headed because I have cooked for many years, since I was 3-4 year old. I'm 24 now. But even sometimes, you know, you can make mistakes. The apples could be, maybe it's not ripe enough. You might not have enough sugar. Of course, before I add the cinnamon, I'll be making sure I've got the right base. Yes, I'm happy with that. Okay. Probably the worst camera angle in the world, but never mind. Paris Hilton's video wasn't exactly prime time, was it? Okay, now for the cinnamon, you've got to be really careful and delicate with it because it's such a strong spice. I'd say on there, 1/3 of a teaspoonful maybe. Give it a stir. You can tell by the smell and by the colour really. You know, if your cinnamon is actually gonna dig it. There we are. It's a word I've picked up growing up in the American influenced modern world. As you can see, that's changed colour dramatically there. You just want to let it simmer away for another couple of minutes. See, a preheat oven, I'd say, as you see, I've already got a quiche in there, so it's gas mark 4, 5, I think it's about, must be 4, just for the eggs to cook. Homemade quiches are really easy to make as well. Of course, you know, I know it's not rocket science, but if you don't like cooking and you're a student, they're cheap things to make and they can keep you going. Like I say, I mean, not everyone's into cooking all day. I do myself like a game of Call of Duty. And of course I look on Facebook to see if any girls want to date, but of course they don't today, so here we are. Right, so I think that's pretty done now. Caramelised apples there. Okay. Now there's one problem about how much I've made, is that I actually have not got a dish to fill the quantity that I need. So, for all this may look a bit unorthodox, it will cook properly, don't worry. You know, just because it doesn't look like something you've just, you know, bought from Tesco's, that doesn't mean it's not cooked correctly. So you just want to level it all out there, as you can see. Now that is extremely hot, as you can tell, so I will leave this video here. Add your pastry, put it on top of there, put a little pattern on top if you want. It depends how artistic you are. Personally, I always make a mess when I do that, so never mind. Sprinkle maybe a teaspoonful of sugar on top. Gas mark 4, gas mark 5, whichever you want. 10 minutes, 10-12 minutes. And serve with cream, and I'm telling you, it's fantastic. So thank you, that's the first episode of Cholesterol Heaven out of the way with your chef Austin Flowers. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you.